fans, welcome to another episode of Boxing 396. I'm here with heavyweight contender, one of the most skilled fighters in the division, Joey Dawejko, who will be fighting December 1st tomorrow at the Sugar House Casino against Kelvin Nunez for the WBC FICRA Box heavyweight title. Welcome, Joey.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I've been getting so pumped up for this interview that I don't know what to do. I've said this to people. Of all the heavyweights I look at, you have to be the most skilled guy in the division.
Thank you.
By
I appreciate
far.
it.
By far.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Talk to me about your journey and how you got started, man.
Well, I started boxing. My grandfather took me to a local Golden Gloves fight and at the Blue Horizon, and I just fell in love with it. And ever since then, he took me to the Harrogate Boxing Club, and I never looked back from there.
I was speaking to Greg Hackett a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about him. And he said one of the things with Joey, he had so much success at such an early age. You won a world title, under 19 amateur world title, and at 19 or 20 years old, you were in camp with the Klitschko's. Talk to me about your journey and all those early successes.
So my amateur career, I had a great amateur career. I was 56-12 as an amateur. I won 14 national titles and a world championship, like you said. So I traveled the world. I was all over the place at an early age, like you said. But there was a lot of things that I learned through the amateurs, and just everywhere I went, I learned something different and tried to incorporate that.
Give me your thoughts on this statement. I've had many discussions and people try to debate me, and this is what I believe. I look at all the heavyweight champions, and I'm convinced you can beat every last one of them.
Me too. I'm convinced.
Okay, good. No, I'm convinced. And someone said to me, well, Joey's a little heavyweight, he's 5'10", right? And I said to people, listen, you have to work with what you have. I don't see your size as a disadvantage. I see it as an advantage because they got to punch down.
It is. So we had the press conference for my fight last night, and that was one of the things that I said. It's easier for me to fight a guy over 6'3" and 6'4" because I'm used to that. I've been fighting them since I was 14 and 15 years old. But they're not used to fighting a guy 5'10" with the style that I had. So it is an advantage for me.
You turned pro at 19. You're 18-4, 4 draws, 4 losses, which is kind of amazing to me. I thought you'd have been 26-0.
Yeah.
What happened with those 4 losses? I know you said something about your training, your management. Talk to me about that.
So starting out as a professional, I turned pro early, 19 years old, and I was taking fights without even training, really. I was beating guys without even putting time in the gym. I had responsibilities and I had to work, and I was doing different things, so I couldn't put all my time because boxing wasn't giving me enough, and it wasn't giving me what I wanted. So I was working a full-time job, training when I could and when I wanted to, really. And some of the losses are questionable. Like I fought Dieter Benz up in Canada, in his hometown. I went there by myself, by the way. I picked up 2 corner guys to work my corner, and that was it. And I lost a decision, which, I mean, I wasn't even in shape, and I know that I won the fight. But I was never, if I didn't, I needed a knockout to get a draw. So that was one of my losses. My first loss, I lost to Dorset Barnwell, which was a close fight. I didn't train at all for it, but it is what it is. I would never back down from a fight, even before, but now it's a whole different story because I am 100% focused and dedicated. So it's a lot different now.
The major change, man, talk to me about the major change. You went out and got a manager.
Yes.
Mark Sparrow, CEO of Rocco's, who's in the collision business, and he's in the collision business again with you.
Yes. So the big thing was I took a fight. I actually fought Charles Martin on a week notice. I didn't train 1 second for it. I went out to California. I fought him. I was completely out of shape. My corner stopped it. it is what it is. I never wanted a knockout loss on my record because I know that I'm durable and it's hard to hurt me. So my corner stopped the fight, and I told myself I'll never take a fight like that again. Well, here January comes up. That was in November of the year before. January comes up, and they offer me a fight with Derek Rossi.
Right.
So I said, you know what? I gotta take this. This is a big opportunity, and I wound up beating Derek Rossi. So I signed with Russell Peltz, and I was still working at the time, not training properly, but I was training with Billy Briscoe. So he's a genius, and he knew exactly how to work with me and what to do. He was waiting at the gym for me after I got done work. Like I would go at 9 o'clock at night just to get a 40-minute workout in, just because he knew what he was doing. And I wound up fighting Mark Rideout.
I was at that fight.
Yeah, he bit me, by the way. He bit me in the 7th round, but it's cool. So I fought Mark Rideout, beat him in a decision, and then we set up a meeting, and I signed with Mark Ciparone, which completely changed my life. The first couple days was kind of crazy. I was supposed to be training, but I was working, and then I couldn't make it to the gym one day, and I told him, I was like, Mark, listen, like I don't know what to do here, and he made me quit my job. So, like I said, Mark changed my life, man, and I can never thank him enough for that, and I appreciate him so much.
No, I mean, and with Mark, success, man, it meant success as a businessman. And I've seen the difference he's made with Tevin Farmer, who fights on December 9th for the world title. I mean, he was 7-4, then Mark got him 18 straight victories, man. So he has a track record.
The thing with Mark, it's not always about money with him. It's about his time, and his time is more valuable than the money. And the time that he puts in with his guys is you can't appreciate that enough. I've learned so much from him, from every conversation that we have. It's just it's amazing, and I'm so thankful, and I'm so blessed to have him in my life.
When I heard you sign with Mark, I was really happy for you. And Mark is a smart businessman. You don't need to have a 190 IQ to see that this guy need to be signed. No, I'm serious. If I were a manager and I was scouting fighters and I looked at all the heavyweights, your name would be on top of the list, just based on the talent alone. Let's talk about your favorite fighter. And everybody knows you fight like him, you remind me of him, your skill level is on par. James Toney.
Yes. I started watching James Toney when I was probably 12, 13 years old. There's a guy that went up from middleweight to win a heavyweight championship. That's only been done a few times, and he's one of them. Never been stopped in his career. He was always a great counterpuncher. You can never hit him clean. I always loved his style, and before every fight that I would have, I would watch him the whole day leading up to my fight. Like I said, I wasn't always in shape to go out there and knock somebody out. So I would have to use my skills, even though I wasn't, like if it was a 6-round fight, I know in the back of my mind, like I'm gonna have to do 6 rounds because I know I'm not gonna be able to have enough to go out there and knock this dude out. So I'm gonna have to rely on my skills. And I would always watch James Toney and get in a mood of rolling and catching punches and slipping and countering. So that was always a big thing that I would do before my fight.
Let's talk about May 8th, 2015. Nobody wants to fight Amir Mansour, besides Steve Cunningham, another fighter. But after that fight, nobody on the planet. He's called out Deontay Wilder, everybody. Not one heavyweight wanted to fight Amir Mansour. But Joey Dawejko steps up to the plate and go, I'll fight him.
Right. You know, he fought Fred Cassie the fight before at the Sands Casino. and I was sitting.
Knockout of the year.
Oh man, he killed him, man. It was the best knockout live that I've ever seen. So I was sitting in the stands and right in the front row, and he just got done face planting him, and I stood up on my chair and I was looking for Russell Peltz, and I was like, I want him next.
Right.
Give him to me. I want him next. And my manager worked out the whole deal, and we got it done.
You guys fought for the Pennsylvania heavyweight title. You lost the decision, and what was amazing in that fight, Mansour boxed on the outside like Muhammad Ali.
Right.
Two things we learned in that fight. Mansour can box on his toes. Another thing, it was good for you. You lost the fight, but you won a lot because people really saw whoever doubted about size and your boxing ability, you actually won so many more fans and boxing experts because they really saw the skill. This guy can fight.
Yeah. You know what? I wish I had that time back, but it did make me a stronger person, and it made me a stronger fighter. I learned so much from that fight, and I would never let an opportunity like that slip away from me again. I did lose a close decision. I feel that if I stepped on the gas a little bit more, I could have won. It would have been a different outcome. But you know what? It made me the fighter I am today, and like I said, I'll never let that opportunity slip away.
What's your motivation, man? You've been doing this. I remember you, God knows how far back, 12, 13. The little fat guy from Harrogate. That's what Charles Ramey and we always said that.
Right.
And it's always amazing. People always looked at you and underestimated you. You know, it's like stepping on a pit bull's tail.
Right.
People talk stuff, then they get in the ring and so, oh my God, it's too late then. What's the game plan?
You know what? When I was younger, I was 13, 14 years old, and my old trainers, Mike Malloy and Jimmy Lowry, they used to take us all around for sparring, and I was like mostly the only white guy going into these gyms, and they would look at me like, oh, look at this fat little dude, you know what I mean? That's easy work. And I would get respect because I would go in and beat them up, you know what I mean? So that was a big thing for me, for confidence-wise, because I could go anywhere. If I can make it out of Philadelphia in the gyms, I could go anywhere and make it. So that was the thing back then. But my motivation now is my children.
Right.
I have four children, all girls.
Okay.
So
feel sorry for their boyfriends in high school.
Well, but that's my motivation now, to give them a better life, and the opportunity that Mark Ciparone gave me. That's how I'm gonna do it, and have the motivation to give them a better life.
It's interesting you mentioned that. You were a small guy, one of the few white guys going to all these gyms. Somehow I still feel that people don't get it. They look at you, you're a small heavyweight, and they look at, oh, this white guy can't fight, or this small guy can't fight. But I'm telling you, when I look at the heavyweight and I look at skill, I look at everybody, I study tapes. There's not one heavyweight champion I don't see you beating. I'm serious.
Me too.
Okay.
I'm serious too.
Okay. I'm going to save those questions for more. Now let's talk about the gentleman, Mr. Nunes, you're fighting. 15-0, 13 knockouts. They list him the same height as you. 23 years old. What's going to happen?
I'm gonna knock him out.
Okay.
I seen a little clip of him. I know his style. He has a nice little defense. He stays pretty tight and doesn't give up much movement. But I'm gonna break him down. I'm gonna break him down. This is the biggest fight of my life.
Right.
Like you said, I fought Mansour in 2015 on ESPN. I fought Natu Vicini on Showtime.
Which you destroyed on Showtime.
Yeah.
That was, I mean.
But this right here is the biggest fight of my life, because it's what's gonna get me them bigger fights.
Okay, well, looking at the camera here, and I know why I watch the Tank, and I've been watching you since God knows how long.
Right.
Tell the fans what they can expect going forward and why they should watch you.
you should watch me because I'm exciting no matter what. It could be a 10-round fight or a 1-round fight, which I'm pretty used to now. But I'm always going to give it my all, and I'm an exciting guy.
And before we wrap up, man, I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
You're fighting tomorrow, right?
Yes.
And I doubt if 99% of the fighters, Steve Cunningham probably, would come here for an interview the day before.
Right.
So I just want to say I appreciate
No
it.
problem.
Day before you made it here. And like I said to everybody, I'm very high on Joey Dawejko.
Thank you.
I honestly
Thank you.
believe you can win a world title.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you
man.
very much.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.